All right, good morning or afternoon, everybody. Coming to you live from third period. All right, so I'm just going to instruct third period, and you guys are going to listen in so that you know what you're doing in sixth and seventh period, okay? Here we go. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Happy Friday. Okay. What? All right, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and go into the classroom section. Before we get started on the actual assignments that we're doing today, one thing that I want to cover is the information I have on this backboard about grading, because parent-teacher conferences are coming up. And so I just wanted to talk about this real quick. A note on grading. This class is a pass-fail class. You guys already know this. So it's satisfactory is passing, unsatisfactory is failing. Edwin, do me a favor and shut the door so it's not coming in here. However, when you are looking at the grade in Infinite Campus, look at that percentage that is directly underneath the letter grade. So underneath S or U, you will see a number somewhere between 0% and 100%. Anyways, you'll notice that you might have an S that has somewhere between 26 and 39%, but that's going to change because that's not actually satisfactory. That's just the algorithm that the computer uses, recognizes that as passing for some reason because it's above a 1. That's not actually passing. So if you see your grade and it's under 40%, that S will change to a U at the end of Monday. So when we are doing our workshop time after the reflection and the private reasoning time, check your grades, check Infinite Campus, see what assignments you might be missing or that you can improve on. Also, these grades down here, that's how I do it. I kind of give you that percentage so you can see how you're doing as a high school grade. You can see 91 to 100% is an A, 81% to 90% is a B, 70 to 80% is a C, and so on down the line. So even if you are passing with that 40 to 59% at a high school class, that would still be failing. But the reason I kind of go a little bit lower is because we are doing that kind of material. It's just that we're not quite in high school yet. Yeah. So, yeah, if you have an 81, that means you'd be making a B for a high school class. So, yeah, you're doing solid. All right, everybody, let's go into the classwork section now. Now, during this time, hold your conversations, especially for the instruction for the other classes. If you have a question, raise your hand, and I'll get to it when I can get to a stopping point. Ladies and gentlemen, weekly reflection number 4. Let's open that up. If you go to the side on the right, it gives you an exemplar from somebody who did a really excellent job on the Thanos snap one. And I wanted to look at that first. You'll see that the copies that are on your table are hard copies. If you'd rather look at that than look at the computer screen. I wanted to just show you what I mean when I say going fully in depth into your reasoning, moving beyond the framework, moving beyond the what the prompt is asking, and showing as much reasoning as possible. This is Preston from the year before last. You can see in the first part of his reflection, he addresses that one strand, that beginning strand of what would happen if the Thanos snap really occurred. Think along the lines of ecosystems, the proliferation of resources, etc. Goes into some really full detail. Not only does he have everything from to actively learn from that week, he also talks about some things that he sees as possibilities that would occur. And then all the way down here, where it says, I also have an idea, and this is like about the midway through point of his reflection, I also have an idea if the snap happened in the near future. And he starts to now do what I talk about when I put on your paper, let your thinking take you beyond where it has before in your writing, or go beyond what the framework is asking. This is what I'm talking about with what he is doing. And I see that I'm not actually sharing my screen with you guys, but I am over here, so that threw me off. So he goes into now talking about some things that he sees would happen, like, in the future, if the Thanos snap occurred, not now, but later, after Elon Musk has made some innovations or some other people and some other things that he thinks would occur. So that's what I'm talking about by going beyond what it's asking. Make those connections to things that you're interested in, to things that you see where it might relate to things that you're already thinking about. And then he easily turns this into a 500-word reflection. A little bit more, actually. Because when I say 200-word minimum, I'm actually going to start changing that to 200 words or more, Because people get to 200 words sometimes and they just stop. And it's like, you haven't quite fully addressed the prompt. That's not what I'm looking for. All right. So take a look at that. It'll give you a full idea of like just what I'm looking for in the reflections. Okay. You can kind of like see how this person thinks and how it relates to the prompt and how it goes beyond it. Let's go to this week's prompt now. All right. This is based mostly on what we did yesterday. What does it mean to be happy? So we can see that a lot of those questions come from questions you've looked at and actively learned. All the things that we are asking kind of like are based on the discussions we had yesterday and actively learn we read yesterday. If you weren't here yesterday, though, we have enough time in this block of private reasoning time for you to skim through the reading and be able to answer those questions with some text evidence. However, you can also probably just answer those questions with what you know about happiness, because that's really all it's talking about, in your opinion on these things. I did include a framework, but once again, you don't have to use that framework. Feel free to erase it and just type in your own words. I am looking for people to move beyond the framework, which means more than what the framework provides. What questions do we have about that? Nothing? It's pretty straightforward, right? Very good. Now let's talk about what to do in the other half of the private reasoning time if you finish before the timer goes off. First of all, you have population growth slideshow is due today. Logic Grid 4, it's due today. The reading from yesterday, it's also due today. So those are the things that you should work on if you finish the writing early. Logic Grid 4, if you go into the stream of the classwork, here's the video so that you can check Logic Grid 4 to make sure you have the right answers. And if you can check the video to see what your answers are correct or not, should you ever really get below a perfect score?
Yeah, no.
You really shouldn't. Okay, everybody. What questions do you have on anything that we're doing during the private reasoning time? All right, in that case, let's go ahead and get started. When the timer goes to 30 minutes, we'll have recognized success. And for those of you in 6 and 7s, when you're done, have a great weekend. And make sure that you are running the class the way it's supposed to go for Miss Baker and for Miss Hernandez in the appropriate classes. See you then.